So I was looking through a bunch of new design resources, bootcamps, self-taught guides, and so many other things. But it hit me how much things have changed. It's amazing how the barrier to entry is completely different now. The idea that you need a college degree in design to become a designer is now almost completely false now. I didn't get any formal design degree or training, so if I were starting my design journey today, I would do things so differently. Back then, I was confused, didn't know where to start, everything was difficult to learn solo, and many other things. Still, even though I struggled, I found a startup opportunity where I could build real experience. That led me to the right people and eventually the right job. I broke into the industry through grit and networking, if I do say so myself. And the truth is, if you're determined, you can absolutely do it too. So in this video, I'm gonna share the exact things I wish I knew before becoming a designer, so you can avoid all of that and start with way more clarity. Design education used to be expensive, outdated, and pretty much disconnected from what the industry actually needed. There's even debates around whether college is even worth it anymore for designers, but that's a separate video. For context, tuition at top undergraduate design schools in the US can range from $30,000 to $60,000 per year. And if you're considering a master's degree in design, that can easily run $40,000 to $80,000 or more depending on the program. That's a massive investment, especially when most of these programs still don't offer real-world experience or practical industry preparation. Let's just say for me, the options weren't great. I started with Google's UX course, which honestly wasn't amazing. So when people ask me now, what course should I take? I'm honestly not sure what to say. Someone actually asked me just the other day, which prompted me to dig into what's actually out there. Regardless, that approach, starting with a minimal course and self-teaching everything else, can work, but it's not ideal, especially if you want to build confidence early on or transition into a tech career fast. Let me walk you through what I experienced, because each part ties into a bigger theme about why learning design can feel so confusing. Let's start with the first theme. Having no clear next step, especially for me, after finishing a basic course. Within the course, I completed a mock project, and once I was done, I had this moment of, okay, now what? I started applying to jobs, watching more YouTube videos, trying to gain more experience, but it quickly became clear that my portfolio wasn't really cutting it. I'd look at job listings and see all these skills or requirements that I really didn't meet yet. And that leads into the second big theme, the gap between theory and practice. I asked myself, what are my options? That's when I started doing a ton of networking. I eventually connected with a startup and volunteered my design work for free just to get some hands-on experience. But even then, I wasn't learning from anyone. I was figuring it out as I went, no real feedback, no best practices, just me doing what I thought made sense. And that really wasn't ideal. So before getting into more issues, let me address some of the lessons and solutions I've learned from these problems. I've been digging into what's actually available now for designers starting out, and I came across a few resources that really impressed me. One of those is TripleTen, and I want to talk about them because their approach actually solves a lot of the issues that I ran into myself. So, design isn't just theory. TripleTen built their training around real-life scenarios. If you're not familiar with them, TripleTen is an online bootcamp that has a design program that helps people from all walks of life learn the skills they need to start a career in design. Their program is project-based, so you build a portfolio that shows employers that you are job ready. You're not just designing screens, you're solving business problems with mentorship. And I've seen this approach showing up in other platforms too, which is great because real-world practice is everything. Even if you're not using TripleTen, try solving actual real problems. Don't just do a restaurant or fitness app because it's too common. I've seen way too many of those. Look at the industries you care about. See what problems exist there, or even redesign a digital experience that you've recently had trouble with. For example, maybe you've struggled with how a feature works in Figma. If you have, then redesign it and improve it. That's actually real valuable UX work. No one wants to see just another restaurant app or e-commerce app built from scratch. Instead, doing this helps solve for some of the skills that I felt as though I lacked with my projects at the beginning, and gives you a stronger foundation to move from learning to now applying for jobs. Now, if you're wondering, okay, but what do I actually need to learn to become a UX designer? This is where a structured program really helps. I got access to TripleTen's UX/UI design course, which gave me a solid overview of what a modern UX curriculum should look like. It starts with the foundations like design thinking, then moves into research methods, user personas, journey mapping, wireframing, UI fundamentals, and even things like branding, motion, and collaboration. You get exposed to tools like Figma and real-world design tasks that help connect theory to practice. It even ends with a capstone project and a portfolio sprint, which I wish I had when I was getting started. Honestly though, if I had something like this back then, I would have felt way more prepared walking into interviews. Next, let's talk about some more problems I've noticed, particularly something I think a lot of early designers struggle with: creating a solid portfolio without any real guidance. I turned that startup experience into a portfolio project, but looking back, these skills just weren't fully there. There was no one reviewing my work, no one helping me refine it, and I had no clue how it would stack up in the real job market. Honestly, it was crazy. My manager actually told me that they hired me a lot because of my problem-solving skills, my real-world experience, and even my presentation skills. Not because of my portfolio though, which I don't know how to feel about that. So, in today's competitive job market, you need to be very, very strategic with your entire application. It's funny because if you're a UX strategist, maybe you'll be good in this aspect. It's really hard to determine the right strategy when you have no help. So when a platform like TripleTen includes resume coaching, portfolio guidance, and even mock interviews, I actually get excited because you're able to bounce your ideas off of someone and find the middle ground that matches the best practices for the application phase. Not only that, but you don't feel alone in the process. I had to put all of that together myself, and honestly, it was just really tough. Digging to find the resources, reaching out to people for advice and not getting responses, doing mock interviews with video platforms, it really sucked. Instead, I could have used a mentor that helps guide you through applying in a strategic way, making sure that not only your website shows your personality and brings together each one of your projects, but that each project also tells a story. So there's a couple layers there, and they all need to work together. The best part is that TripleTen actually offers a money-back guarantee. If it takes more than 10 months after completing the program to get a job, they will refund 100% of your tuition. That's super valuable. So yeah, one thing I wish I had back then was a personal mentor or someone to train me, a resource to ask questions to whenever they popped into my head. So I love that TripleTen pairs you with industry professionals for feedback, and they even offer different one-to-one support options so you can choose what you need or mix and match. Back then, I had no idea what was good or bad UX. Having access to people in the field would have saved me so much time. If you're still not in a boot camp, you can still seek out mentorship in design communities or ask for critique in design discords or subreddits, but that isn't always easy. The key here is really not to work in a vacuum. Reach out. I tried, but once again, it was just difficult. So finally, if you're trying to break into UX design without formal education, or you just want a clearer path than I had, definitely check out TripleTen. They offer a free career consultation where you can talk to an expert and figure out the best way to get started. They've also got a special offer just for you. Use my code MARK to get 30% off all their programs, which could save you up to $3,400 on your education. Just click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get started. Also, if you're looking to learn a little bit more about UX education, personal growth, and anything related to design, make sure to subscribe to watch more. Let me know in the comments what you wish you knew earlier in your career or what you're struggling with now, and I will see you in the next one.